3.6 parallel lines in the coordinate plane. First off, we got to review algebra. Hopefully, if you know algebra, this should all be reviewed. It should be nothing new. However, I feel that it will be new to a lot of people. Um, and maybe you did learn it, and then you're like, man, I thought it was different. Sometimes I have people that say, oh, that's not how you taught us last year. Well, no, algebra didn't change. You just are remembering it wrong. So it's a good review. Hopefully, you see it this year when you get to Algebra 2. This is where you start in Algebra 2, so it's a good review for that as well. Um, so slope is m. It's the rise over run, and there's a formula y1 minus y2 over x1 minus x2. And remember, that's the slope between 2 points where one point's x1, y1, and your other point is x2, y2. Postulate 17 says slope of parallel lines are the same. If the lines are parallel, they have the same slope as demonstrated in this picture. We could talk about rise over run. Here we're going over 4 up to 4, 6, 8, 10. The slope here is rise 10, run 4. That's the same thing as reduce it down 5 halves. Okay, it's the same thing as rising 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and going over 2. Now this slope is, went up 4 over 2, so are these lines parallel? Line L and M are not parallel, but here we went backwards 4 and down to 4, 6, 8. So my slope would be rise -8 over -4. Make sure you get your rise and the run in the right spot. Is that the same thing as rising 4 and going over 2? They both would reduce down to 2. So M is parallel to N. Now we're going to talk about algebra, writing an equation of a line. You need to know slope-intercept form of an equation, y equals mx plus b. To write an equation for the line through the point 2, 3, that's x-coordinate, y-coordinate. That has a slope of 5, that's my m. There's two different ways to do this. You can use this formula, which is what I like, because I think most of you guys probably have it memorized. And you're going to follow these steps. I don't have enough room here, so I'm just going to drop down. And I'm going to put 5 in for m. I tried to color code them a little bit. I'm going to put 2, this is my x-coordinate, in for x, my y-coordinate 3, and now I have to solve for b. So putting those in, it's 3 equals 5 times x, which in this case is 2, plus b. Notice that this point, if it's on the graph, has to work in the equation. That's why we can put it in for x and y. So we get 10 plus b equals 3, and subtracting 10 from both sides, we get b equals -7. So now I can write my equation, y equals my slope, 5x minus 7. And I could check it by putting in 2, 3 into the equation. 5 times 2 minus 7 is 3. Okay, so it's a substitution. Substitute x and y into the y equals mx plus b. As well as your slope, solve for b. Another thing you could do, if you remember, I'm not going to go through it, but maybe you remember this. X minus x1. This is the point slope formula equation. But to me, that's just another thing to memorize. I'd just rather understand how this one works, and I only have to remember one formula. Okay, but this is point slope form. Write the equation of a line parallel to the line y equals -2x plus 5 through the point 3, 2. Let's make sure I graph this right. My y-intercept, 5, So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and a slope of -2. It's not graphed right. I'm going to change this quick. This should have been a positive sign. Alright, so if that's a positive 2, now my slope's good. So I want an equation of a line through y equals 2x plus 5, and I want it to go through the point 3, 2. Well, with graphing it out, it's pretty easy to see, follow my y-intercept down, and find my slope. But you won't always have a graph. So what I want you to remember is an equation of a line parallel to this line. Okay, if it's going to be parallel, my slope is going to have to be the same. It's going to have to be 2. So I'm thinking, okay, y equals 2x plus some number. And I know it's got to go through the point 3, 2, so I can put 3 in for x. So here's the common mistake. People like to do it like this. That's a mistake, so don't yell at me if I'm purposely getting it wrong here. Why is that wrong? It's not 3 in here and 2. Remember, 3 is x. It goes over here. So we put 3 in here, 2 in here, we get 6 plus some number b equals 2. So b has got to be -4. And notice my y-intercept is -4, and my slope is 2, so I can write the equation of a line parallel to that one through -4 as y-intercept. One place you'll see slope, you'll see it all over. Some people talk about it in skiing, in construction. I worked construction, so I have a lot of examples. They call this the pitch of the roof. And if we're talking about an 8-12 pitch, that means we're going to go up 8 feet and over 12. So rise, over, run. So that's an 8-12 pitch. And we want to know what is the height of the garage with a roof with an 8-12 pitch. So we want to know this total height. And I'm assuming from the ground up. So let's find this number first. So if it's 8-12, I can write a proportion and say, well, I'm rising h, I'm going over 10. And I look at this, okay, 8, cross multiply and divide, 80 divided by 12, well, it's going to go in there 6 times. 6 times 12 is 16, 12, 72. So I have a remainder of 8. And I was dividing by 12, so 6 feet, 8 inches basically, plus the 8 feet to this point where the roof starts. So I'm going to say the height of the roof, add 8 to that, 14 feet, 8 inches. So 14 feet, 8 inches. This is your homework assignment. Make sure you're showing your work as you do this. I don't want to just see equations. Show your process. It's important that you do well in this section because next section we're doing the same thing. So if you got questions, ask. Make sure you get this stuff figured out. Next section we're going to do the same thing with perpendicular lines. Have a good night.